And that one, no, I'm done writing something. I feel like we're people the same points. I have developed my writing and design skills. I should get the stress and anxiety. Whoever decided to do it was like, let's just make it even more. It's like and then we're gonna be all
30 students today. Can you guys hear me okay in the back? Yeah, sweet. Well, that's unfortunate. This is the very last time we're going to meet, aside from the test. Yeah, but you guys never ever clap for somebody for a test. So I was hoping at the conclusion of this, you guys can give me a little kind of. But anyway, if we don't get there, if we all forget, if I forget to remind you, it's okay. I'll just assume that you're clapping. So as far as I can tell, the live stream's working, so you guys at home should be receiving this with a bit of a lag, but can't really stop that. Okay, before we get into the Kahoots and stuff, a few things I want to cover. First, I just want to go over quickly the how we're going to finish off this semester. Like I just said, today's our last day together, so we're right here. Review session number 8, we're going to cover leaky buildings and earthquake-prone buildings. And then next Friday, a week from today, at 6 p.m., in the rooms kind of over there, I guess, the computer labs, we're going to have our test 2. Now, I've had several emails, and I don't know how the degree of cheekiness that come in these emails, but supposedly the word's going around that cheat sheets, and there's all kinds of things happening, and anyway, it is true that some academics have maybe bent to students' suggestions that it's just simply, I don't know why cheat sheets have to happen, but some people say, okay, cool, and they're allowing cheat sheets, but it comes down to the academic. Now, across our entire department, guys, I'm sorry, but we're not doing cheat sheets, okay? Not at all. And the tests are all designed without cheat sheets in mind, and that's just the way we're going to stick to it. So your test 2 was or is going to be closed book. It will be invigilated, so there will be one PhD student proctor and me in each of the rooms, kind of looking over your shoulder, all right? I shared, well, I'll just finish up here, but anyway, I'll get into the instructions and I'll explain a couple things just so you guys are aware. But I think most of you guys, particularly the 30 that show up today, or 32 now, or whatever, we're in my 102, so you're the diehards, you're awesome. Okay, those other guys, I don't know about them. So you probably remember the Prop 102 computer-based tests that I did. Same kind of thing. Okay, very similar. But I'll walk you through it in a second. So that's this week. Next week is the test. We don't have a session in here next week. And then the following week, we don't have a session either. I've given you guys time to simply do your assignment. And just know that I'm available. Shoot me an email. Come and see me in my office. I'm up on level 5, room 526. Make sure you, well, try to make sure you send me an email to set a day and time to do that. You could just go barge in and I'll probably help you out, but I won't always. Or Zoom or whatever, okay? So I'm here to help you guys. Try not to leave it to the very bitter end, but I figured some of you might. And so I've kind of blocked out that entire last week for you to finish your assignment. Okay, so you put that up onto Canvas, it's electronic, and that's it. This course is over. I'll do my best. Before you even get to putting that assignment, I will try to get your test 2 marked. Okay, I'm going to mark a portion of it. I'm going to pass it off to my trusted PhD student who will mark the rest. So I will do what I can to get that thing back because I know you guys like to know where you stand at all times, which is cool. All right, let's see. So I will just go over here to something I posted on Canvas recently. I think it was yesterday. And that is your test 2 instructions and lab assignments. Okay, probably just click on it like this. Open it up like that. Okay, so here we are. This is level 0 OGGB. These are the labs that I have booked. You're going to be plopped in one of them. Here is the structure. So beginning of alphabet to Chromebook, and so on and so forth. Okay, to double Z. There you are. All right. Please bring an ID ready. I did this a little bit different this time. In the past, I had a blank sheet of paper that you'd have to sign. Okay. I'll just skip on to this slide here. So this for 102 students who took me last year or before. You'll be familiar with that. This time it's a little bit Big Brotherish, so don't be too freaked out, but your name is already put on there. Okay, so everybody has their name. So to make this possible and to not drive my poor PhD students crazy, please try. If you're AAA, if you're Aardvark, if that's your name or whatever, then that's your family name, then you should be front and center and just push everybody else around because you're the first one. If you're Chromebook or whatever, then and you're the bottom of it, then try to be at the end and you don't have to sit there and talk to everybody and get yourself in perfect alphabetical order. But if you get kind of close, it's going to help. Rather than somebody going, okay, trying to find yours, if you're somewhat close to that, it'll be quicker. So try to get yourselves in alphabetical order as you can. Have your ID out. Bring this piece of paper in, sit down, read it, and then sign it. And then it'll be collected by either myself or one of the PhD students, whoever's in the room. Okay? So here are the instructions. This is up on Canvas. Okay, you don't need to sit there and take it. There's nothing secretive about this. The only thing that I want to point out here is this computer-based test. When you are doing your test, the only thing that should be visible on your screen, aside from when you're logging in and logging out, is your test. Okay, it can't be a little window off to the side. It has to fill up the whole thing. Okay, so I should be able to walk behind and see that you're on this question. There's nothing else visible on that screen. That's what I'm going to expect. And I might tap your shoulder and say, hey, can you maximize that window? All right, that might happen. There will be scratch paper available, so you can basically manufacture your own cheat sheet on the spot, but really defeats the purpose. But that will not be graded, okay, and will not be collected. So you're free to ask for a sheet of paper, or there'll be a little stack there for you to pick something up. When I was a student, I would sit there and just try to shove so much stuff in my head, and then I'd want to barf it all out onto something and write it all down. So that's me. If you're kind of like that, then if you want to try to remember certain things and not lose it, then maybe get a piece of scratch paper and grab a pen. You need a pen to sign this thing anyway, this sheet. So you might want to jot down some notes really quickly, okay? It's up to you, but paper will be available, but it's not going to be marked. Again, as I've said before, this is not a spelling bee, so if you butcher the spelling of, say, a fill in the blank or during one of your short essays, you screw, not the end of the world. I'll be as lenient as I can, and I'll give you partial credit where I can. Okay, as far as true, false, multiple choice, all that stuff, it's always the best answer, and it's from the content of the course. It's not your own opinion on something. It's from what I say in the course. That will get you to your best answer on those kind of questions. Okay. So any questions on test 2? It's all fairly clear? Yeah? Okay. So it's going to be a week from today. Lecture 10 through lecture 18, plus this latter half of that Building a Skyscraper documentary. Just like on your test 1, there'll be a dinky little question for each one of those. Not the end of the world. It would be good if you got those right, and you get those right by simply watching those videos. All righty. What else do I have? What order? Okay. Before we get into the Kahoots, I did want to take a little bit of time and accomplish a couple things. One, I I want to acknowledge the fact, and you would have seen this, especially in, say, the leaky building, when you do online lectures like I've done, and you divulge time-stamped information, it immediately, you see something like the future, and the future is what, 2014? That's the future? It's kind of like, that's not cool, all right? It's like, just like a hand-me-down. How many people have gone through this? So I appreciate that some of this material, and it was a risk for me to do that, and I was trying to, I guess, for that cohort of students that were coming up, I wanted to share some of that, and I wanted to share it with you guys, but I know it kind of is like, so old. So I figured I'd share you some really good, well, I think is good, kind of personal experience of that leaky building thing that I had, and I hope that you guys will run away from this and go, wow, okay, put that in my memory banks. Remember what the hell happened to Mike and how he got a new a-hole ripped open, and try not to fall into the same trap myself, all right? So this is kind of what I presented to you guys, okay? And this is the future, which is, I know, you look at it now going, oh my God, that's not the future. It's well into the past. So I'll just now update you on what happened, okay? So at the time, I kind of knew this information, and this cost estimate relates to the Section 74 repair scheme, which you kind of have to do because in a leaky building situation or anything that deals with unit title property, it becomes very tricky as far as what is unit property and what is common property. And unit property is obviously where your little kitchen is and the interior of your house. But it then gets tricky because common property is the exterior cladding, and it's like, well, where's the point where the common stops and the unit begins? And it's almost impossible to figure it out. So the only way to get around that is to enter a scheme, and that's under the Unit Titles Act. All right, so that's what we did. And so this first kind of price here was the estimate that we had from one consultant on how much is this going to cost. And we saw that, we're like, oh yeah, we could do that, sweet. Rip the cladding off, put a new cladding on, easy peasy. Okay, of course time moves on, and not super surprisingly, you go and you do the design documentation and all the specifications, and then it's like, well, okay, it's maybe a little bit more involved than we thought it was back when we did the scheme. And you put it out to tender, and we had 3 or 4 tenders, and one came back, and we picked them. Okay, our consultants said these are the guys to go with, and we went with a wonderful company called Corbel. Okay, and we signed a contract, and here was, and I'm putting this all in a unit perspective. So each individual, on average, there's 81 units. This is one of the articles. If you Google my name in New Zealand Herald, it's sometimes about my academic stuff and sometimes about this kind of crap. And I don't know what I'm more well known for. Anyway, so out of the 81 units, on average, these are the costs that we were expecting to pay. When we started the contract with Corbel, we had a contingency fund that we set aside, and we raised money amongst ourselves just in case this blew out a little bit. We knew it was going to blow out because you don't know how bad it is until you start ripping the cladding off. And so we figured, okay, 20%, all right? I remember at the time going into the MB offices and talking to the guys dealing with the financial assistance package because we were part of that. And they were talking 50%. And what they were trying to talk to me, and this seemed to be how they talk to all of their kind of clients or partners, or whatever you want to call them, is have you considered demolition? It's the first thing they said. Have you really, really, really thought about demolition? And you look at these guys, and there's a reason why they're saying that, okay? Because they started having experience at that time of costs that just went crazy. And at the time, anyway, now, you, of course, retrospect, hindsight's 2020, you think, boy, I should have knocked that damn thing down. But we didn't, and we're like, okay, thanks for the feedback, awesome. No, we're good, we got great people behind us. Corbel's awesome. So we didn't do demolition, we continued on. And one thing with body corporates is it's tough. It's kind of like government projects. You hear things like, oh, these government projects are blowing out. Well, one problem with it is who has control over that, who has kind of, chips in the game. And with a body corporate, you have a small little group of volunteer owners that are your committee, and then you have all these owners behind. A lot of them are passive. They don't want to know. They just pay the bills and get a return on their income. They're investors. And it's very difficult, actually, to make decisions. Okay, it's difficult to make really, really, timely decisions and hard decisions, executive decisions. You can't really do it very easily. And so once you start a process like this, you're kind of stuck. And so that's just, aside from leaky buildings and everything else, just know if you go into a body corporate situation, if something blows up, there's not a whole lot of control individuals have, unfortunately. It's a beast into itself. So we start going with Korbel. Wonderful. It was November 2017. We open it up to them. Okay. Everything was broken into 3 different phases. The whole concept at the beginning, we paid money. We paid extra money, extra amount that they asked in their tender to go accelerated. Hell yeah, we want accelerated. We want to go fast. So the concept was 3 stages, yes, so different blocks that we have here, and they're kind of staggered, and the whole idea is this crew's going to go through, they're going to rip the cladding off, they're going to go on to the next stage, and it's just going to be so efficient and so time, it's just, it's going to be great. All right, so that the initial idea was, okay, 8 months. So this blue block, 8 months, 8 months, 8 months, and we all are out of our units for 8 months. Okay, I kind of skipped to the chase a little bit. We end up being out of our units for 24 months. Okay, that's a big deal when you have to, like me, I lived in the unit. I had to go rent someplace, probably around 50 grand more of my money that I'll never get back, that I had to pay somebody else to rent their unit while my place was under the knife for a lot longer than I was told it was going to be. And that's in addition to all this money, by the way. So that kind of sucks. And then you move on, and one thing that was just really, I'd hate to say corrupt or fraudulent, but anyway, you have to wonder, just by magic, once we had handed over the last bit of units, the wheels completely, utterly just fell off the damn thing. Yeah? So we handed over the last units, the whole project was in the hands of the contractors, and suddenly it's like, oh man, there's all kinds of problems we didn't see before. And things just went haywire, and the cost started really going up. And we kind of blew a whistle around this point where we get a cost update where it had already jumped well past, blew our contingency away. And at that stage, you start going back to the owners going, hey guys, guess what? We need to raise some more money. Yeah, and things just get pretty ugly. Well, I'm not going to put all the steps in between. Korbel went into liquidation. Okay. This is what we thought it would take in terms of time. This is where we ended up. These things still are going on, and people are still struggling with some of these leaky building things. If you guys come across something that's plaster clad and all that stuff, and you think, that's a really sweet price, please try to remember, okay, what happened here. And it doesn't happen to everybody. Maybe we got screwed more than most. But it really is difficult to know what you're dealing with once you start pulling off the cladding. You can never have, unless you're going to knock it down and build new, you really have no idea what you're going to get into. For ours, because it's multi-unit, the amount of costs to upgrade for fire, if you remember in London, they had this Glenfill or whatever big high-rise that a lot of people died. Well, that impacted the kind of approach that the building controls people take here in this country. Man, it was a nightmare. Just kept on coming, everything. And it's like, we just wanted to fix a leaky building problem. We end up having to reconstruct all kinds of portions of the homes. So anyway, that's my story, and I wanted to update that. The other thing I just wanted to update for you, doesn't relate to that, but it relates to earthquake-prone buildings. And now please do not interpret the stuff I just showed you, or I'm going to just brief you on here as testable. I know this is very important to you. Okay, I'm not going to make this testable, okay? So what's testable is what's on the video lectures, okay? It's not this stuff right here. But I just want you to be aware that things have moved on a little bit from when I made that recording, okay? There's now a financial assistance. I guess they didn't like the word package, so they changed this one to scheme. And this is for residential owners of earthquake-prone buildings, okay? I guess that's one of them. That's apartments. So it's a little bit different, whereas the government in leaky buildings actually invested directly in and gave equity, gave cash to assist. It's not really the way it works here. There's a subsidy on the loan, so there's kind of special underwriting and guaranteeing on loans. They've gone in with the banks, the government. And you see down here, there's a subsidy essentially on the interest rate. So the government is probably paying, the bank might get their full share of what the interest should be, but the government's probably paying some of that. That's the way it's working. So anyway, just so you guys are aware, things have changed a little bit, and if you're super eager to understand the nitty-gritty of it all, there's websites like this. Also be aware, again, not testable, is that there's a registry that exists now, So if you want to know if a building's earthquake prone officially, then go ahead and go to the registry, and it should be on that registry, whether it is or it isn't. If it is earthquake prone, there's a notification scheme, EQB or EQP or whatever the heck it is, notice scheme, which is similar to those Section 124 notices that I did talk about in the lectures. Okay, so that's all expanded now. Anyway, there you go. So a little bit of an update. Sorry for the dated information that exists in my lectures. So we're going to move now to the good old Kahoots. So this is for participation marks and UPIs only. So teach. I've put last week's Kahoots onto Canvas as challenges, by the way, that all expire on the date of the test. So if you guys want to play with last week's questions, they're up there. All right, so this is the discussion questions, 6733089. UPIs only, please. Very good, excellent, wonderful. Okay, there's clearly the live stream's working because there's not this many people in the room. Look at all those people at home. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves at home. I really do. So how long should I let the people sitting at home with the lag? Should I wait till 100 and cut them off? What do you think? I'll give them a little more time. They can always join later as well. Okay, we're hitting 100. That's it, guys. Oh, no, we're going backwards. People are leaving. How is that even possible? Come on. You don't got all day. Okay, that's it. I'm going now. There we go. We hit 100. Discussion questions 3, 2, 1. All right, here we are. Heritage building owners are provided an blank extension on top of their standard time frames. 5-year extension, 20-year extension, indefinite because they're heritage. They're sweet and you keep them. Or is it 10?
That's really funny. I like that they took the effort to be.
Here we go. Come on, good start. Excellent start. Excellent. 10 years, correct. Despite a low risk area, insurance premiums have increased by roughly in Auckland since the earthquakes. Again, this is a little bit dated. This is a few years ago now, but still, it most likely holds true today as far as premiums existing. So 20, 30, 40, or 50%? 50%. Doesn't that suck? Low risk area, but we're getting shafted, I'd say. Yeah? Okay. 3 out of 4. As per the weather tightness risk matrix, something of which of those cannot be directly fixed to the building frame? Eaves, plaster, fiber cement sheet, or none of those? All of those that I've listed can be directly fixed.
Good job. I should do that.
Plaster. Not the one you'd think. So you can actually fix in certain circumstance eaves and fiber cement. I think it's a bit wrong, but that's what the risk matrix says. All right. Oh, God. Not one of those. Just when you thought you were going to win. If WRHS claimants don't have a claim against the council, the max FAP financial assistance package is what percentage of the remedial costs? Oh, man. Here we go. Somebody can say it. It's okay. I know with so few people in the room, it's a little bit of a bummer, but you guys can still talk, collaborate. We got time here. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay. Oh, plaster. Okay. Oh, okay. So you got 50% accurate. Okay. All right, good job. Mortal, Emlon, CPAS. Okay. Here we are. Okay, now this one's for the chocolates. Whatever kind of craziness, as long as it's clean. Any kind of nickname you want. So I'll give 6 chocolates to the top 6 here who are in the room, and 6 to the next group. 690, 64, 66. Amazon Goose. Okay. Obviously, there's people at home playing. 5, 4, 3, 2. David Seymour, good luck. Here we go. Oh, right off the bat. I know, it's just not fair. Which country suffered a leaky condo crisis before New Zealand's own leaky building crisis? The name of the country, please. I know it's not fair. The people with computers have a decisive advantage. All right, let's see. I think there was about 70. How many got it? Oh, you're all over the show. Canada. Oh, that's not bad. Not bad. I'll accept that. Good job, Wayne. Auckland disproportionately represents over 3/4 of the country's WHRS leaky building claims. Okay, again, a bit dated, but the principle is still there, based on the lecture information. Very good. That's true. But we have the lion's share. Lucky us. As discussed in class, the key shortcoming of the WHRS Act 2002 arguably is its poor structure requiring the involvement of lawyers, slow process, inability to handle multi-unit claims. None of these answers are correct. And this is really just about the irony of how we were trying to fix the problem. That's right. So the main problem was multi-units, and they had no idea how to deal with them. Oh no, 2 and 1. It's unfair. In the year blank, so a year, which year tends to separate earthquake prone from those that are above 34% NBS? There's a certain year, it's a very important year. I have a feeling I'm going to see lots of years here.
I hope it's not the essay questions, please, or history.
Yeah, that'd be a very short essay. Oh, wow. I see a couple close ones. 30. Ugh. There's blood on the streets. All right, there it is. Just a second. View full report. Come on. Let me see the top 6, and I might have to go further because there's going to be some people playing at home. Players, here we go. Is Nate here? There you go. What about whatever that's supposed to be? Sweet. Slime. D. Wade the goat. Okay. HTQ. Here it is. Oh. Okay. Oh, where's Jar Jar? Hey, there he is. All right. Oh, did you drop it? Get it later. Okay. Okay. Just keep an eye on it. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. All right, last but not least for the year. Last 6 chocolates coming up. Tournament number 2.
Oh, dang.
Okay, 151 3003. Oh, all kinds of emojis. Oh, is that you, Jar Jar Binks? Are you now Darth Jar Jar?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's just with the lag, it's not possible for those at home to win. King Kong's left nut. Okay. Oh, you guys are so creative. No thanks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bang. You can log in later if you want. Okay, here we go. 4 questions. Councils tend to do DEE reports at their own cost, with owners funding IEP reports if below 34% NBS. Is that a true statement or a false statement? Oh, there's a DEIP. Yeah, well, yeah, this one's just potentially tricky, that's all. Oh, I don't know if that was guessing or what, but basically all I did is I took these 3 letters and I flopped them around, okay? Yeah? Yeah, so the DEs are the, anyway, that's what's going on. I know it's tricky, it's not fair, but Jimmy Bucket's got it. Oh, no. God. Councils can condemn buildings when owners fail to address seismic issues in a section notice. The answer is a number. Okay? Hint. There it is. Should have only left you 20 seconds for this one. We get perfection? No. 124. Oh, well. See you, Jimmy. It's all right. You guys can redeem yourselves. Based on government's 2015 map of risk zones for strengthening, Auckland lies within a high-risk area, medium-risk area, or low-risk area. Come on. Yeah, there can't be any green. I don't have a 4th one. That has to be somewhere. Okay, I want perfection. This one I'm going to get perfection. Close to it. Well, people at home they're just going for a color. Yeah, that was all you guys in the room, I know. True, false. Filipova and Ream, 2014, found both Auckland and Wellington suffered office rent discounts because of low NBS ratings. Is that a true statement or a false statement? You got to just pick one. You got 50-50 shot. Is that a true statement or false statement? Damn. Okay. You're right. It was just one of them. And the one was Wellington. Okay. We didn't find any evidence of rent discounts in Auckland, which kind of makes sense because it's a low risk area. But hey, we still pay these jacked up insurance premiums anyway. So. All right. Good day. Good job. Here we are. Who's our top 6? Okay, is G'day in the house? You, again? Gonna rot your teeth. Who's Mr. Smiley Face or Miss Smiley Face? Is the Smiley Face here? Not gonna buy it now. Once you go beyond a certain point. Now, where's RV, recreational vehicle? There we go. Oh, there it is. Did you get the other one already? Where's number 3? No. Where's number 3? All right, fine. Where's Did? 2 more. Is Did here? All right, where's Crust? And D Wade the Goat again. All right, guys, that's all I have for you. So now you can give me a little tiny royal clap. We'll do your best studying for the test, and I'm around. I'm not disappearing anywhere. So if you have any questions or whatever, shoot me an email. Come visit me in my office. All right? All right, guys. I'll see you next week, Friday, 6 p.m.